What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, another PokeTuber, coach of your Piedmont Triad Kickers, coming at you today with my draft analysis for the Season 2 of the TPL Twin Leaf Premier League Garchomp Division. Yeah, I think I said that correct. I hope I did. If I messed it up, sorry, because I can't take it back. But yeah, love the Twin Leaf because, well, you may or may not know, but Gen 4 is like my favorite because I just love Sinnoh. I really love Sinnoh, even though my favorite Pokemon is Cinderace, which is kind of crazy because it just is. Before Cinderace, it was Infernape, though. And before Infernape, it was Blaziken. I'm pretty sure you guys notice there's a whole, trend here. And let's just ignore that, okay? So, this is a low-tier draft where we were given 70 points to draft exactly 10 Pokemon. And we were given 8 points to draft exactly 2 Terra Captains. So, you can't have 1, you can't have 3, you have to have 2. And like I mentioned, this is low tier, so this league is going to be an 8-week league and then playoffs. So, expect to see the Piedmont Triad Kickers for the next 11 weeks. As far as I know, the uploads, it's not required, but we're going to, obviously be uploading our battles. I don't really have a concrete day for when I want to upload these yet because, the drafts I'm going to be in is going to change over the next couple of weeks because of, playoffs and stuff like that. So, whenever I figure out a day, man, just know it's going to be that day, okay? I'll let you guys know. So in this draft, I was fortunately number 16 on the table. So we're the wheel pick, but at the bottom. I actually prefer being number 16. Now I'm not going to lie, I kind of hated it in this situation because there was a certain somebody that I really wanted on my team that I just couldn't get because of where I was at. Because it kind of just makes sense, but it is what it is. I still feel like we managed to make the most out of the draft. I mean, in the day we were 16th. You gotta make the most out of the wheel spot, right? So I've gone over the rules. I got over where I was in the draft. So I think the only thing left to do is just to go into, well, before I go into what I actually drafted, let me go over some of the coaches. So you got some familiar faces here like Arcaniner, Josh, Twisted Games, Big Will, TK Sanity, Zach Mander, Mr. G. Well, I never played Mr. G, but I've been in a handful of leagues where Mr. G was in there, and I think I've always included him in the, like in this section of the draft analysis. So, some familiar names, but there's some people I haven't played before, like Niv, Zell. I've played Spoopy, but you guys haven't seen that battle yet. So, stay posted. I haven't played Nidor, I haven't played Bell, that Common Boy, Admiral, AP, and by the way, AP, as far as I know, is the reigning champ at the moment. These are guys I haven't played yet, but, looking forward to some fun games against some new opponents, and even some fun games against some old opponents. It is what it is. We here for the competition. So, speaking of the competition, I think it's about time we get into the roster of Pokemon that I brought to compete in a competition like this. So, for my first round draft pick, as you guys know, typically I draft a fire type round one. I'm pretty sure most people understand, it's either Cinderace or just some other fire type, or sometimes, it's not going to be a fire type. But usually within the first 2 or 3 picks, I have my fire type. So in this, and, by the second or third pick, I have my water type. So, for the first round pick this time around, I decided to get my fire and my water. This is a low tier. I saw a friend of mine named Lazy Boy pop up with this Pokemon, so I said, you know what, let's try this guy. He's really bulky, he hits really hard, and he hits on both sides of the spectrum, so he can be a mixed attacker, physical, special, you name it. My first round draft pick was none other than Volcanion. Please ignore the Terra Orb. That is okay, listen, we're one take dragging this, so I'm not about to ignore. I'm not about to cut that out. I'm not about to restart all this just to cut that out and then do it all over again. I'm not doing that. We are one take dragging this draft analysis. But anyway, it'd be nice if he could Terra. He cannot Terra, guys. Please understand. He cannot Terra. Do not confuse this for my Terra Captain. But I think it's obvious. This is low tier. So, Volcanion costed me $12 out of my $70. So, you better pull your weight, buddy. But, like I said, pretty bulky mon. 120 defense, 90 SPDF, 80 HP. This thing's pretty good as a tank. And then because of 110 attack and 130 special attack, you actually don't need to, fully invest into those stats to do, crazy damage, which allows more room to run him bulky. And because of Water Absorb giving you an immunity, and it also is a way to recover, I guess, but no one's going to really hit this guy with a water move. But you guys get the idea. This mon is pretty much here to break stuff, to be a wall breaker, but it can also be a tanky wall breaker, which I really like. And 70 speed is fast enough that if I want to run, let's say, a flame charge set, he can reasonably flame charge, be faster than everything on the other side of the field, and then just sweep because of that 130 special attack, because Steam Erosion, Flamethrower, there's not a lot of stuff in this format, excuse me, There's not a lot of stuff in this format that can resist both those stabs, if anything, actually. So yeah, that's Volcanion. Happy to have you on the team. Haven't used him since my very, 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 very first draft. So yeah, looking forward to that run back with Volcanion. Next on the team roster, so Volcanion's a really good fire type. Obviously, people want to run rocks. I don't want to run boots every week, so I decided for the second round, I'm going to get me a good spinner. And coincidentally, I was able to get me the best spinner on the board in the form of Mars the Cyclozar. So I can't nickname my Volcanion because it's an event Volcanion. At least not until ZA allows for like home compatibility. Then I can just nickname the one I caught in that game. But we have our Cyclozar Mars, who's going to be coming onto the team this season, mainly to be a spin blocker, but it's other like utility. He gets like taunt, knockoff. We get U-turn for pivoting because of Regenerator. He has longevity, and of course we can use this guy offensively too because he does have like shift gear sets. He does get like he's a normal type, so he gets a lot of coverage moves. And then as a dragon type, he does get like Draco and like Dragon Claw. So he can do a whole bunch of different stuff, but he's mainly here to be a spinner and mainly here to support the team. I'm telling it like it is. But yeah, that is Mars. Next on the team roster, we have another familiar face for the Piedmont Triad Kickers in the form of Nimbus slash Wimmy, the Whimsicott. So I needed I needed a fairy, honestly, and I figure why not just go with my goat. This is my goat. This is my low tier goat. Honestly, this is my goat even though he's not low tier. This is freaking Whimsicott. We love Whimsicott on this channel. You guys know this. It gets Prankster and Chlorophyll, but I'm telling like it is. On this team, we'll probably be using Prankster a lot more than Chlorophyll. I don't really see myself using Chlorophyll that often. But this mon can do different things. It can support the team with like screens, screens, Tailwind. We get like Encore for setup sweepers, Leech Seed. A lot of stuff we use with Prankster, but this thing can also be pretty threatening offensively because this is low tier. So spec sets, life orb sets can actually do a lot. Or I can just run growth, focus sash, go +1 still. 116 speed, we're outspeeding a lot of stuff. And then Moonblast, honestly, it's just very spammable. And then considering that it's one of its main grass stabs is Giga Drain to stay healthy, like this guy, he has 60 HP. So most things, if you're Giga Draining, if you're doing the damage, you're probably gonna get a lot of HP back. But yeah, Wimmy is just here to be supportive or offensive. It just depends what the team needs that week. We're happy to have you on board. Next on the team roster, I decided I was going to go ahead and get me my first Terra Captain, and I wanted to get this guy because to me he looks like one of the best, if not the best Terra Captain on the board, in the form of Raikage, the Hariyama. This is a Pokemon. So I have a shiny one of these that I was given by a friend named Shaggy a very, very long time ago, so I can't really ask him to, change the nickname. But, I appreciate him for giving me the Raikage. He gave it to me for, like, VGC, and now I'm going to be using it for this draft league. Let's just ignore everything below the attack stat, because let's just be honest, all those stats are, like, pitiful. But he does make up for his sad defensive stats with 144 HP, so even though he's not the best, like, in the actual defensive stats, because of all the HP, this guy can take some hits, and then he does get 120 attack, which pairs really well with Guts, so, we pair on a Flame Orb and just spam freaking Drain Punch. It's that simple. Like, he can just do that and, stay healthy. We also get priority and, like, Fake Out, Bullet Punch. We get set up in Belly Drum. This mod can pretty much hit anything it wants to, and there's nothing you can do about it because it also gets knockoff for, like, Ghost types. And then Fairy types, like I said, it gets Bullet Punch. And then because of Thick Fat, it actually helps out Whimsicott a lot because basically it's immune to what everything's Whimsicott is weak to outside of poison. So yeah, Raikage, I feel like we're going to have fun with you on this team, and I'm happy to have you on board. Next on the team roster, so I wanted to get some power and some speed, and I saw this mon was still available. I don't know how. It made it to round 5, but it was here in round 5, so I decided I'm going to pick it up. I decided to pick up none other than Sandy Shocks. I never knew that he had, like, angry eyes. I never knew that until I actually saw the GIF up close. But, ground electric type, so this thing pretty much, like, bro, it hits everything. Like, literally everything. Even gets Power Gem for coverage. Like, it hits everything. Photosynthesis for our ability. If we ever want to use that, we have to run, like, Sunny Day Whimsicott or something, which could actually help Volcanion as well. This guy is 101 speed with 121 special attack. So in this format, faster than a lot of things. 121 special attack. He's going to be hitting a lot of things pretty hard. And he actually has pretty decent bulk, 85 HP, 97 defense, 85 spit out. And outside of being like a really strong like special attacker, it does have good like utility options and like screens. It gets spikes, it gets rocks. You can pivot with Volt Switch. The only thing this mon really can't do is set up. And even then, I think it might get charged, albeit it is kind of a gimmicky setup move. But you guys get the idea. That is Sandy Shocks. Happy to have you on board. Next on the team roster is another Pokemon I was looking at for power in the form of Bubbles, the low kicks. So this guy has Tinted Lens for his ability. Nothing resists him except for like Cobalion, and that's only if I'm hitting you with a freaking bug move, because Cobalion is allowed in this format. We have 71 H actually, screw all those other stats. 102 attack, 92 speed. Excuse me, oh my goodness, I don't know why the heck I keep getting so, what's the word I'm looking for, congested, I don't know. But anyway, maybe because I'm talking too fast, I don't know. But anyway, 102 attack with Tinted Lens. Pretty good stuff, pretty good stuff. So, like, nothing wants to come in and take a hit from this guy because you don't resist it ever. Every hit, for the most part, is going to be neutral, if nothing else. And a 92 speed in this format is actually decent enough that there's going to be a lot of games where he might actually be one of the faster mons on the team, which means I don't have to force myself to run, like, double priority. I can run, like, one priority move and then, like, you know, everything else I want to run. You get what I'm saying? This guy's mainly here just to be like a physical wall breaker, if I'm being real. Just like Sandy Shocks can be a special wall breaker, but I can also get some utility out of it. But yeah, that is Bubbles. Next on the team roster, well, if Sandy Shocks is going to be setting hazards, potentially, I'm going to need something to spin block set hazards. So I decided for the next round, I would pick up none other than Frostlass. So for one, I wanted Frostlass because I kind of did want a 110 speed tier, which Frostlass does provide me. And then Frostlass can also set hazards and be a spin blocker, but it also does get like other cool utility moves, which I feel like could benefit the team, like T-Wave and Will-O-Wisps. It gets Curse Body as an ability, which I really like. We get priority. This mon can be physical or special. It's 110 speed, like I mentioned, so it's going to be faster than a lot of things. You can run Specs on this. You can run Bandit because it does get Trick. You can also run like Focus Sash. Like, you can do a lot of different things with Frostlass because it just has a pretty, for what it is, it has a pretty unique move pool. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, that is Frostlass. I have a shiny one of these that was gifted to me by my good friend Pokemaster88. That's going to be the one we're using this season. So, you know, happy to have you on the team. Okay, so as you guys have probably noticed, we have almost no points left after getting Low Kicks and Sandy Shocks. So after getting Frostlass, I have 8 points left. So I have 8 points to get 3 Pokemon. Oh my gosh, guys, pray for me. So the next 3 mons are mons I've never used. Honestly, most of the mons on this team I never used except for freaking the first 3 plus Low Kicks, but everything else, like, I've never used these guys. So yeah, bear with me. So for the next round draft pick, we needed a steel type. I wanted a bulky steel type. This was literally the bulkiest steel type on the board, so I decided to pick up Mr. Nose Goes, the Probo Pass. Now we have 4 points left. He's a rock steel type. The main ability I see us using is probably Magnet Pull, so we can trap steel type. So yeah, guys, you better bring your shed shells. 150 spit F, 145 defense, so this thing can take hits. 60 HP. I really wish he could recover, but I mean, I guess with like leftovers, he can be decent. I don't really know what to expect from this guy because I've never used him. I didn't even think I'd be drafting him, but he's here. Whenever I face it, I know most people use it as like a, you bring down the steel type, you might iron defense or something, or you just start spamming body press. It just kind of depends on like how threatening that steel type is to your team. I've also seen people run like gimmicky like spec sets, which, you know, honestly the damage kind of surprised me because I guess when you're clicking like Flash Cannon and Power Gem, like depending what you're hitting, you're actually doing decent damage. I mean, he does have Save 5 special attack, so I've seen specs do decently well in like low tier. So I don't know how I'm gonna run this guy, but we are gonna use him, and you know, just bear with me because you know, he's new to me, so you know, hopefully I can do all the Probo Pass fans proud. Next on the team roster, well, we needed a grounded poison. I wanted Muck, but Muck was too expensive for what I had left on the team, so I decided to go with the next best option in the form of Swalot, who now we only have 2 points left to pick a Terra Captain, which actually works out because Hariyama was 6 points, only have 2 points for a Terra Captain anyway. This guy gets Liquid Ooze for an ability, so I guess if we're ever playing like Mons who have to use like Draining Kiss, Giga Drain, stuff like that, we can use this guy to you know, ruin their plans. This thing has a pretty good support move pool. It gets like, Toxic T-Wave, it can set up. Obviously he gets poison moves like Gunk Shot, Sledge Bomb. So, he can do different things. I've never used Swalot. I've never even thought about using Swalot, so I do not know what to expect from Swalot. But just know we're going to bring our Swalot to games. I found a shiny Gulpin like not too long before the draft started, so to me that's like a sign. Like I said, I don't know what to expect from this guy, so guys, bear with me. But I can see him being like a bulky something in this league. 100 HP, 83 defenses. We'll see. Next on the team roster, last but not least, is our last Terra Captain for the draft. Another mod I've never used before, but a certain acquaintance of mine named Mr. Zeus hyped this mod up to me. So I was like, you know what, let's see how good this mod really is. So my last mod and also my second Terra Captain is the one, the only, Grumpig. So we actually also recently found a shiny Grumpig. Well, not shiny Grumpig, it was a shiny Spoink. This thing gets thick, fat, and gluttony, so we're immune to like ice and, well, not immune, but we resist ice and fire, or we can have an ability that lets us eat our berries earlier than usual. And I can see how, like, for example, the stat boosting berries, how that could be good on a mon like this, who can be like a Calm Mind sweeper, Sword Power sweeper, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the main thing I'd see this mon being, though, like a setup sweeper. I guess it could maybe do other things. I don't know. I have to play with it and see. Like, these last three mons I've really never used before, so I do not know what to expect from them. But like I said, if you're a fan of any of these three mons, hopefully I can do them proud. But yeah, guys, that is the end of my draft analysis. I think I've said everything I can say, so without further ado, there's not really much more I can say, right? So if you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the battles, because wink wink clue clue, there might be a battle uploaded not too long after this draft analysis is posted. And like I said, if you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe, and until next time, everybody, peace out.